With the release of the new trailer for Final Fantasy XV, I was thinking about my own expectations for the game. There have been a lot of people that are worried for Final Fantasy, considering how long it took for the game to get released. There are a lot of worries that it won't be good, or at the very least, it'll be disappointing. These are things I've worried about myself, especially considering how much I disliked Final Fantasy XIII. I won't go too far into that, but I'll just say that I disliked how linear it was. Final Fantasy XV looks to be doing away with the corridor style and opening up into a huge world. But with that huge world comes a bunch of new problems. Will there be enough content to fill that world? Will the story suffer because of how open everything is? And will the gameplay even be fun? I'll go over these for a minute and give a few of my own predictions for the game. First off, I think the quality of the content is one of my most important questions. Not how much will there be, but what is the quality? Will it be more like The Witcher 3 and giving us side quests that are actually compelling? Or will it lean more towards Final Fantasy XIV, where many quests are fetch or kill quests? Keeping in mind that Final Fantasy XIV is an MMO, so it's possible that it isn't a very good indicator of what will happen in Final Fantasy XV, I'm still very worried that the quests won't really be based in interesting stories. There is a lot of opportunity to make really cool things in the world that we've been shown so far, and we've already seen that they are able to craft an interesting storyline with the Kingsglaive movie and with the Brotherhood animation, even if those stories weren't anything particularly groundbreaking. That being said, it's really easy to fall into the trap of having cheap quests, because they're really simple to make. In Episode du Sky, they did show off a pretty cool side quest with the Behemoth. I'm hoping that they stick mostly to this kind of side quest and others that are more character-focused. As to whether or not the story will suffer because of the open-world style, I don't think that will be the case. With all the various content and the pedigree of the people working on the game, I think they can craft a suitably focused storyline, even if the game is pretty open. I think that they'll keep it focused when we get into story moments, and then allow for time to explore in between. They've also had a lot of time to look at criticisms of the demos and integrate that feedback into the game. So this is something I'm not that worried about. I expect it to have a good but not incredible storyline. Hopefully they prove me wrong and really step it up. Gameplay concerns aren't really a thing I'm worried about at all. From everything I've seen in previews and some of what people have said about the first 15 hours, it seems like they really got this part of the game down, and they learned a lot from the demos. I know for a lot of people that gameplay is king, but for me, gameplay is just the way that I receive story. I can deal with gameplay that isn't amazing, to a point, so even if it's not perfect, I'm not worried. That being said, the combat systems look really fun, so I'm looking forward to trying it out for myself. Another thing that alleviates some of my concerns is the quality of some of these trailers we've seen, especially this newest trailer. I know that trailers can be really misleading, but if the cutscenes and parts of the game are anywhere near the quality of this trailer, I will be happy. Just seeing that they're able to make something of this quality is a really good sign. There are also concerns over what it would mean for Final Fantasy as a franchise if the game didn't do well. I think these are pretty valid. Final Fantasy games always do well, but the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy was nowhere near to the standards we expect from the series. Regardless of whether you personally like the games, I think most people can admit that it was a far cry from the universal acclaim expected from a Final Fantasy title. If this game doesn't do well, I'm not sure that the series would die, but I would say it's a safe bet that they don't go all out with it in the same way that they have with Final Fantasy XV. Square obviously knows this, considering how much effort they put into everything surrounding the game. I know that I've probably come off as pretty positive over these ramblings, but I'm still a bit worried that the game won't meet expectations. It's a pretty hard ask, considering the development time. I just want something that pulls me into a world for 40 to 50 hours, personally, and I've limited my expectations. I'm also going to wait until we see what the early reviews are like before I jump in, so I suggest you all do the same. This has been Concerns and Expectations for Final Fantasy XV, and I'm Melchiorus from Game Clouds. Have a good night, friends.